New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Go, Breeze.
What made the beat? What's happening?
There's a lot of stuff I could say, but
Be like, rip me out the plastic. I've been acting brand new. He's acting like they running, they really ran through. I spend that 500 before I ever trap you. They thought I was gon' fall off. I hate to bring you bad news. Through so many racks, can't even see the flow.
And Cardi comes in and smokes it. I'm gonna smoke you. Put your bestie in a pack. I'm smoking her too. What?
okay.
Bars.
It's no
Bars.
No.
Let me tell you something. Cardi hasn't had an album
like
out
Cardi.
in 6 years. Every feature she gets on, she takes that song to another level. She elevates it, and
Actually, she
Cardi
takes over their song, and it's all about them, all about Cardi instead of them.
I think it's about them. I
Do
think
you
she
really?
just
I
comes with
mean, the
strong
song
verses.
is cool. I think it's really the beat, honestly.
But here, I like some of the, like, first of all, rip me out the plastic, I'm acting brand new. That right there set it off. That sets it off.
Okay,
Listen,
I mean-
look, that's how I feel. When I'm fresh, when I'm fly, what? Yes, brand new. Out the
okay.
plastic. Fresh, baby. Popping.
And there you have it.
And so that's a great line. I think Lotto is one of the ones, like, because people have seen her grow up. She was on, what is the show with Jermaine Dupri?
Yes, that little hip hop.
Yeah, and she decided not to sign with Jermaine because she made the decision she wanted to be more adult, and she felt Jermaine was keeping her in that kid era. So I respect that she has a little bit of a pen game. You can tell that her man, who's not her man, allegedly, 21 Savage, helps her out with some of her rhymes, because sometimes the way she spits stuff, it's just like, all I need is 21 to come in and say, on God. But that's not a bad thing. Like, I'm feeling it. I
mean, I think Lotto's a beautiful young lady. I think she can rap. She has a good style.
But you're a Barb?
I'm definitely a Nicki fan. Like, ain't nobody finna out rap Nicki. I mean, there's other women out there that's not.
You're right. Nicki can spit. Nicki got a pen. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. Continue.
No, it's a lot of women out there that can rap, but it's like you haven't been in the game long enough to act like you're gonna out rap Nicki. Like, come on. Like, it's not just about that either. Like, I like Cardi, period. Like, I would say right now, I would be like Nicki, Meg, Cardi B. I like them.
So for me, here's the thing. Like, Nicki can spit. I just don't like always the way Nicki handles things, and I think she's getting a little bit of her karma because of the way she dealt with Little Kim and some of the things she threw at her. That's why she's getting the super freaky grandma comments and all of that.
I get it.
She used to shade Kim and talk about she was old, and now she's getting hit back with that.
But Kim was real mad. And people keep saying Nicki did not give her props, but she did.
She did, but at the same time, she would shade her too. Nicki was a little shady.
No, I'm not gonna say she wasn't, because she made a whole song about Kim. That's what really made her mad. Like, that's what killed it. So, hey, to each his own. But I like all the young ladies. I'm not gonna knock them. Keep hustling, ladies. Keep going.
But the point, going back to that, is what do you think of the evolution? Because you, obviously, when you came on and you guys were in your group, you guys were like kind of tomboy chic. You had your girl stuff, but, you know, it's sort of the middle. And so you fast forward to, you know, these many years later, whatever that number is. What are your thoughts about where we stand in hip hop? And do you think that we can go back to a time where a woman that is more clothed will still be respected and, like, given the props?
I feel like we can revamp, and I think we should revamp. And there's nothing wrong with some of the things that's going on, but it's only so far you can go with, can I say the whole look? Okay, that look.
That look.
That extra look. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Even the young ladies, you can be sexy in jeans, a little bikini top, and then move forward. I'm not saying just stay the church person, but we can. I think we can revamp. We need more female groups. We need more groups. We don't have R&B and really hip hop. We just have a lot of rappers. Just rap. Victoria Monet is out here.
Victoria Monet kills it. Her pen game is nasty. She puts on a heck of a stage show. But for some reason, I don't know,
They're not pushing her. They're pushing the look that we're talking about, the hip hop, the more sexual look.
I mean, but I think Victoria gives you that. I think she gives you sexiness and appeal. She's not like granny style. She gives you like, an ingenue look.
But they're not pushing the R&B music. Like, they're pushing the hip hop. Like yeah.
Okay.
But because what do you hear on the radio? Even though I don't listen to the radio that much.
Hey.
I mean, we listen to the radio, but I mean, when you listen to the radio stations,
yeah. I mean, it's all driven by TikTok and the algorithms, but that's
it.
another conversation. So before we continue on this musical journey that we're discussing, I want to talk about Disney for a minute because they are trying to get brand new, ripped out the plastic, restart some things over there.
Do something then.
So Disney is considering selling off ESPN. That has been one of the pinnacles of their acquisitions for about 20 years now since they first got involved. But because of the purge, so to speak, of people in cable TV heading off to streamers and so forth, and Disney is losing money, cable subscribers are gradually going down and down, Disney's CEO Bob Iger said Thursday, that's today, that Disney is potentially open to selling its equity stake in ESPN. Disney owns 80% of ESPN, 20% is owned by Hearst Communications. So, he's looking for a strategic partner. He's already had early conversations. He also said it's also up for consideration. They also own ABC. They have the streamers and different things like that. Now, Disney is trying to acquire a bigger stake in Hulu because they own some of Hulu, but they're thinking about letting these legacy channels and networks go. And they feel like in the coming years, ESPN is going to lean more heavily into a streaming property, and they feel that there are other companies that they could probably better align with that can make more money in the process because they feel as though they are hemorrhaging money. So Iger says that ESPN will definitely transition to a direct-to-consumer business, but didn't say when that will happen, meaning you're not going to be able to turn on your cable, per se, and see that. Also, ESPN has been resistant to put some of their more high-profile programming onto their streamer, ESPN Plus. But that could change. So as we're seeing media companies consolidate and these things like that, do you think it's a good move from Disney to move on and wash their hands excuse me, of the sports business? Keep in mind that live sports and somewhat award shows, but not as much as they used to be, but live sports are the thing that bring in the most viewers and ratings. So what are your thoughts on that?
That would be a big mistake, I think. They got too many scandals going on anyway. They need to try to hold on to all that they can right now, okay?
So this is the thing. ESPN, they made money per cable subscriber. Let's slow down.
Okay.
And so with people cord cutting, they're hemorrhaging. So Disney agreed to pay about $2.7 billion per year in 2021 for Monday Night Football. So that is a savings that they would, take back to their shareholders if they let go of ESPN. Also, they're thinking of spinning off FX.
Oh, I like FX.
Nat Geo and all of the ABC networks. So it wouldn't be any more pairing of, here in LA, ABC is Channel 7. I think it's ABC is Channel 7 in New York too, or something like that. I can't remember. But, I just think it's the nature of the business, and media was the hot property. Media companies have been for the past sort of 8 years, and now everything is shifting around streaming. I think that the cream will rise to the crop. I think we're going to see a lot of consolidations, but I don't know about this one. This seems kind of crazy. Andy, what say you?
I think this is the beginning of the death of network television, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, considering everybody is moving towards the whole stream, it seems like every cable channel has a streaming app now. I just don't see people really just, I'm going to turn on the ABC on Channel 7 to watch what?
Right.
That I could go ahead and just watch it online.
At my own leisure, in my own convenience. I don't have to wait.
You don't even have to have all of cable. You can just get one channel, pay for stars. You can pay for BET. You don't even have to have the whole shebang like before.
Leslie Holmes says, 100 with you, Liz. I don't listen to music radio anymore because of what you are speaking about. The music industry is focusing more on rappers. No disrespect to them, but I grew up in the era of the 70s.
Right.
I know that's right, Leslie.
Real music.
So I think that it is kind of heartbreaking that the way that, I mean, everything must change. I know. But the reason why cord cutting started was because it was cheaper, right? At this point now, if you have all of these streaming services and then you get your little extras in and you want to do this, you end up paying just as much as you were paying with cable. So where is the savings?
Do you really watch? They show the same thing on cable over and over again.
I mean, but they do show the same thing, but here's the thing, of all your streaming services that you have, how many do you actually watch daily? How many do you take advantage of their 50,000, piece library? Do you look at all of that, or do you look at about 5 shows?
Do I even really watch TV every day?
That's a great point too.
No, I don't.
I think that is also changing.
That's another thing. I don't.
So
I'll be on YouTube. That's crazy. Like, I'll be watching shows on YouTube.
You could conceivably be watching ESPN on YouTube the way that this goes down. It's changing so much. Jerry Anderson says that the death of networks started with the pandemic, when everything became unbundled and becoming more independent. I actually think the death of networks started a little bit longer ago than that. I don't think the pandemic really made that large of a difference. I think that also the timing of all of this is really going to be hardcore just in general, because, depending upon how long this strike goes, we're going to run out of new programming. And you can go back and watch the other stuff. But I think once people get out of the habit of watching TV or looking for those shows, and we see that happening, it's hard to go back. Leslie Holmes says, good point. There's definitely a change going on in networking TV and streaming services. Jerry Anderson says, good point. I OD'd on TV during the pandemic.
But then I think the pandemic was the shift.
Okay, maybe.
That's the shift. Just like when all the prices went up, that's when the shift hit. I think that's what it was about, the shift.
Shift?
Yeah, because the prices didn't come back down.
Okay. Andy?
So, in negative situations, considering, the whole strike, I think there's an opportunity now, considering we have social media. So anybody who wants to create their own TV show, I think this is the time to create your TV show and put it on Instagram Live or however which way it works. Mm-hmm. That's the way to go now.
I think you have a great point. Or check in with KBLA and watch RSVP with Jill Munroe. That can certainly replace what you're doing.
Because all the big studios are coming for the influencers anyway. You're out here independently making money, and now they want a piece of your money.
T. Sworn said Showtime and HBO repeats on 3 or 4 channels. What's the point of HBO 1, 2, and 3 if they're all showing the same thing?
Absolutely.
So I feel you guys on that. It's just change is going to come. Do you care where you catch your Monday Night Football? Does it matter as long as you see it? Are you even watching full games at this point? Or are you really just checking out NFL Red Zone or checking out the highlights? That's something to consider too. So, we'll have to see what happens. Some of the potential partners for Disney could theoretically include Apple, Google, or Amazon. We know Amazon had a lot of success this past year with their Thursday Night Football series. They also paired that with a live music event that would happen afterwards. So they are getting in on the live events game. So is Netflix. Obviously, we know we had the Chris Rock special on Netflix a couple of months ago. So all of these streamers are looking to get in the live network thing. Meanwhile, the networks are like, I'm going to move around. So I'm curious to see what happens with all of this. We will find out soon. When we come forward, you will hear all about the new bank credit union, but you can do your banking there, that a sorority has purchased, the first in history. We're going to talk about all of that and more. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on,
We decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
To my hometown, my community. Some of you have known me my whole life. Do you notice anything different about the kids in the neighborhood? Ever paid attention? You might start with gifts, money, attention. These are signs. Child trafficking is happening right here in this town. So don't just watch through the window. Pay attention. Because the more we know, the more we'll all know to say no. Learn the signs to look for and how to help at no-to-say-no.com.
When I can't sleep, my mind just races. I think about work, the kids, but I don't think about taking melatonin because I'm afraid I'll feel groggy in the morning.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies has an optimal dose of melatonin for no next-day grogginess, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake up feeling refreshed. ZzzQuil Pure Z's Gummies for better sleep like never before. And try Pure Z Sleep plus Next Day Energy with melatonin plus extended release B vitamins.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's Jill Munroe. You are listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe, and you're my VIP, so I like to make sure that I put you up on game first, so that you are ahead of the curve. You know, that's what we specialize in here. Access, always. So I want to tell you about the Alpha Kappa Alpha Inc. sorority. The ladies, pink and green, shout out, pinkies up. No, I am not a member, but I thought about it at one point. I did. I thought about when I was in college pledging, but what... AKA, what you mean? AKA, skewy. That would have been me. Absolutely. However, when I was in college, the chapter at my school got suspended. And so the graduate chapter, the, older women came to me and they were like, "We think you're a great candidate. We still want you to come in." But I had a homegirl and she was like, "If you don't go through the proper protocols, your letters will never be respected," and all of these things. And I was like, you know what? This is way too much.
I don't want to.
I'm just going to go to school.
Yeah.
I know what I want to do in my life. And I like what you're talking. Like, I like the cute thing. I like the pink and green. I like the colors. But what I really liked, which is kind of crazy to me, I didn't know about all the service that sororities do, and learning about that and that process, it kind of excited me because I didn't realize that there really was a component of it that really was about, bettering overall and giving back and investing, a real sisterhood. And that's important. And so that brings us to our topic now. According to Chicago WLS ABC 7, for members only, known as FMO, is now the first digital financial institution in America. Sometimes it's late and we trip over our tongue.
It's okay.
It's not a problem.
Right, okay.
Anyway, FMO, for members only. It's the first digital financial institution in America that is Black-owned, women-led, and founded by a sorority. Their corporate headquarters will be in Chicago, and it is basically every member of Alpha Kappa Alpha will be an owner of this credit union.
Oh, that's
technically.
Good. Congratulations.
The financial institution is open to all AKA members and their immediate family, as well as staff and credit union employees. So kudos to those ladies. But what I want to know is, just like a couple of days ago, we heard about Bank of America being fined $100 million because they were opening up fake accounts and double charging people overdraft fees and stuff like that. And this is like the second time that something of this nature has happened with them in the past couple of months. We know what happened with Wells Fargo a few years back. Mm-hmm. What do you feel about banking institutions? Who do you trust? Do you trust the traditional banking system? Are you still all in with that? Because we have so many digital options now and digital only banks like Chime and things of that nature. How do you feel about banking? How do you handle your money in this era? We have Apple Pay and things like that.
I'm old school, but I'm with
shoebox under the bed.
Partial, okay. But I'm with the credit union. I'm not with the regular bank, so it's whatever. But it's too much going on. So when we had a blackout last night, okay, and the first thing I was thinking about is the digital game. Because guess what? If we have a real blackout, you cannot get your money out of the bank. You cannot use your credit card. You cannot do anything if, like, someone was talking about their Tesla. He was like, they had a blackout and he could not charge his car. He had to pull out his old car. So I'm not with all of this extra digital, like Fed now. Is that what it's called now? Instead of Cash App. Mm-hmm. All of this, I don't know. It's a scam. It's a quick way to get,
I mean, it does make you think, because obviously everything is changing. Sometimes, especially since the pandemic, it's not unusual to go into places and they're like, oh, we don't accept cash, which seems kind of crazy because,
it is true.
You used to people trying to skirt the system and they only accept cash. But now there are lots of places that do not accept cash. Like, even it's crazy to me when you go to things like Valet and they're like, oh, we have Cash App. Like, let's do that.
I'm like, no.
No, you don't. You want Cash App to
No,
pay
even when I go to a food place and they're like, "Oh, we don't take cash." Even if I do have my debit card and you don't take cash, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Really?
I am. I'm not. You're not going to force me to. No, I'm out. I'm going somewhere else.
So would you go off grid? I mean, what happens? Because the thing is this. Last night on the show we had a guest, Trent the artist, and he was talking about that what happens when the internet breaks down, right? And it's really true.
It's true.
What would we do if something happened, like one of the satellites was damaged and you had to go without internet connection or digital connection for like a week and a half? How would we move?
Right now we have an outage and my internet is not working. But on my phone, I can maneuver a little bit, but it's not working at my home. So I had a little attitude. But what I did do, because I have an antenna, I turned on regular TV, the basic channel 2 through 64. I can still get regular TV with an antenna without using the internet or whatever I have to do. But it's really hard right now. They're trying to make it hard. They want to know how much money you're making. They want to know how you're getting it, where it's going. So are you trying to let them control your money and every move that you're making? Do you think that's like, do we know what every move they're making? So why should they know what we're doing? Like,
listen,
I'm just saying.
It's a lot happening. I agree with you. Jerry Anderson in the chat says, credit unions rock, but going all digital is a dangerous risk.
Yes.
For a business handling cash, cash costs money, got to maintain hybrid access. And T. Sworn says, and all electric cars mandated I can't see what it says there. Can't trust it. Okay.
You cannot trust it.
So, and you think about this, we're in a state where I think by 2030, regular gas cars are going to be outlawed.
That's ridiculous.
So you're not going to be able to sell anymore. So it's again, Must be a theme of a night. A lot is happening. A lot is changing. A lot is turning over. So shout out to the AKAs for opening up that credit union. If you're a member, congratulations on your ownership of a financial institution. And
I think that's pretty good.
Go drop some money in there and support your sisters.
I think that's pretty dope.
I think it's amazing as well. Now, we have more to talk about. Like always. Listen. Let's go back to the 90s again. So
okay, let's go back.
At what moment, because you made the decision, kind of as your group was taking off, you made the decision to leave your group.
No.
Okay,
finish. Gonna finish.
Well, all right.
I'm gonna let you finish. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're going to tell me the correct story. I'm just going by what I remembered at the time. What I thought happened was that you wanted to leave the group and, try another avenue, that basically the direction that they were taking the group or some things that were happening at the time within the management group label thing wasn't for you.
Okay, so that's not how it went.
Okay.
Because I still was riding it out because we, as friends, we moved from Hollywood. We put the group together ourselves.
Right.
Met some dudes that was helping us. And it's always some shenanigans behind the scenes. No, I did not make the decision to leave the group. They decided that they didn't want me in the group. Not they, but the guy who was sponsoring the group. He was mad about something that happened. I could say what happened.
We don't have to go.
Yeah, we don't have to. But they were mad
way.
about something. But me and one of the other girls also who went there probably had some behind the scene issues, which you know how people be pillow talking. Yeah, so that was going on as well. But I must say, after that, I ran into him years later. And I don't think people even know that I ran into him. Okay. And he apologized, gave me money.
All right.
He did right by me, and I wasn't mad about that. I actually took it personal from my friends more so than him. You know what I'm saying? Because we gave up our apartment, we gave up everything to move to make this happen. And yeah, we do go through things, but
What is it, do you think, because it's a reoccurring theme that we hear about when we're talking about, female groups, when it's women, and it's usually a male entity somehow involved in the business some type of way that comes in and the group ends up breaking apart. What do you think that it is about the process of women in a group? And we're going to talk about this when we come forward. Coming up is news and sports. But I just want to know, and you think about it for a second, what do you think it is about women coming together in a group that we can never seem to really stay together as a unit and move forward and get that bread? We're going to talk about that more. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
All kind of Let me pull my diamond tester out, you counterfeit. Better keep my name up out of mouth, they been trying it. If it's beef, then let me know, baby, why you hiding it? And I heard about you pigs like your. We all know that cat is giving fish. When I send that eggplant, that nigga know what time it is. My ex crazy about me, better be ready to die. I done it all, feel like shot it low. Laughing to the pain, but shit is not a joke. Say she got a problem, imaginary smoke. Set it up, then put it on the floor. I done it all.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Black Los Angeles City Councilman Curran Price made his first court appearance in his criminal case. Curran is accused of theft by embezzlement, perjury, and conflict of interest for allegedly voting on projects involving developers who were tied to his wife's consulting firm, then keeping the connection quiet. In Columbia, Tennessee, people packed into Mount Calvary Missionary Baptist Church last night to join in prayer in response to KKK-related flyers that were left outside 3 black places of worship last Sunday. Faith leaders Senator Dr. Larry Thomas said hate has shown up before and they've always survived. The brutal heat wave continues to impact much of the southern U.S. In Death Valley, California, temperatures could potentially reach 130 degrees this weekend, which would match the highest temperature ever recorded on Earth. In El Paso and Miami, the highs have been over 100 degrees for nearly a month. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Duran Duran returns to Yalmavon Theater August 20th. The British rockers will electrify audiences with hits like Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf. Tickets now on sale at YalmavonTheater.com. Duran Duran, live at Yalmavon Resort and Casino at San Manuel, August 20th. Must be 21 to enter.
Black Lives Matters turns 10, and KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to be the exclusive media partner of the People's Justice Festival. This Saturday, July 15th, 12 to 6 p.m. in Leimert Park. Come join us as we celebrate the life-saving and history-making work of Black Lives Matter to help bend the arc of the moral universe toward justice. There will be live music performances, a children's village, giveaways, vendors, a healing justice space, Skillshare, and amazing speakers including Green Party presidential candidate Dr. Cornel West, live on stage at 4:30 p.m. For more information, go to blmgrassroots.org. That's www.blmgrassroots.org. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley will be main stage hosts throughout the day, and the KBLA Talk 1580 delegation will be out in full force. So, join us this Saturday, July 15th, 12 to 6 p.m. in Leimert Park as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of Black Lives Matter. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I done plant my seeds, now I'm rooted. Brown skin popping, I'm rooted. Can pull the hood out me, I'm rooted. Rooted, nappy head, rooted.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SavedByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SavedByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SavedByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk Radio. that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Shade room.
Yo, holla.
Now you putting on some real music.
Yo, holla, okay, holla. You see a bad bitch coming through, yo, what's the holla? I'm in that new me and new when I roll up. I tell a valet, park my Benz and bring the rosa. Yo, holla, okay, holla. He see me looking pretty every time he scroll up. My God, the lift the blicky hit you if you stroll up. Now put your hands up, it's a holla. Run me the money, cause I be the baby beat. Barbie teams, banging body beat. Everybody beat, on my D. Yo, I got it beat, in reality.
I mess with Nikki, tough, but her attitude sometimes makes it so hard. Yes, it's her. Nikki, sometimes she got to grow up. Like, she acts like an entitled 13-year-old, still having who's more popular. Ooh, I don't like her because she got the same jacket I got, and I had it
like
first.
That,
I do. I think she's very petty like that. I think that some of the things.
That's
I think
funny
that
to me.
sometimes when she extends her hand to the young and upcoming female rappers, it's not because she genuinely wants to give them that shine or share that space with them. I feel like she knows it's a smart marketing ploy, and that way you can't keep saying, I don't share space with the young rappers and I don't give them, a leg up. I don't hold the door open. I think that she drop bombs on me, Andy.
It's a lot of haters in the house.
It's no hate at all. It's no hate at all. I mess with Nikki. Her pen game is nice. I love her theater background, her performing arts student background is part of what makes her so dope, because she can go into those different voices. She can give you different characters. She can spit and give you that, like I'm having, fits. I'm insane, crazy, but then she'll bring it back home and give you that, rough, rugged, and raw, real New York thing. I mess with Nikki. But I do think that the time frame, what was it, like 2008 to maybe 2014, when she was the only one out there, messed her up. I think that she's looking at things and thinking that
but
she
wasn't
should
it
be.
Other women out there, they just wasn't popping.
They were, but not really. It was Nikki.
But see, it goes back to your music. I'm just saying it goes back to what you put out that will continue to play. Because some music we're not going to hear later. Right. And then you have some music that we're going to hear like forever.
So you think that we're going to be playing Starships in 2027?
I don't know if we're going to be playing it, but somebody's child's going to be playing it.
Maybe.
It's a Barbie world. They're going to be playing that kid-friendly type of music. Like, she's talking crazy, but she's not really giving it to you raw like some of these young ladies are giving it to you.
Right.
Like, straight to the point. Like.
Okay. So we were talking about, before we went to break, about women in groups and why it always seems that a male presence in some form or fashion takes the group down. Why do you think that is, and what do you think that, this new generation of women, because we do see, not in the same way, but we do see little male beefs or certain things playing out amongst them that kind of maybe keeps them separate. What do you think that we can do as women to sort of ensure that that doesn't happen?
Well, you can stop sleeping with the producer.
The producer can stop sleeping with the talent too.
Okay, or whoever the head person is, it's always going to be that one that, all the ladies are going to be attractive if they're in the group, but it's always going to be that one that somebody's like, I like her. And it's going to be that one.
The chili of the group. Well, I'm just saying that because it was rumored that chili was free at that time period. No shade, no tea. I'm not shading chili.
They did have that rumor out there. I don't know how true it is, but
Pebbles.
Well, according to Pebbles.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it just a natural thing in workplaces, no matter what the workplace is? If you work at the grocery store and you are a checker, that box boy might look kind of good to you,
the
but
manager.
that can cause the man. I'm okay, the box boy, the manager. I'm just saying, whomever. I know that in this instance we're talking about the person in charge, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I feel like what position the men are in. You know, if they get in the mix, and if we're two girls and we both like them, we tend to get competitive as women.
Yes, it's a lot of competition in this game, and that's why you see so many girls bickering, because it's competition. If you know who you are and know what position you play, there is no competition. That's the problem. Everybody's trying to be the same person. Every rap girl that you see all look alike. Their outfits, the hair.
But that's indicative, I feel, of this era. I feel that's the social media influence. Because I remember, like, back in the day, I used to talk about before, like, social media got really popular, probably in the MySpace era. I used to say things like, I don't understand why girls can't pull it together. They have examples in the video. And now everybody's a carbon copy of each other. And we've always had that, like, if you think about the Jennifer Aniston phase with haircuts in the 90s, you know, I wanted a mushroom like Tootie when I was a little kid on Facts a Lot, you know. So there's always those influences, but I feel like now there is a look that we think or is projected that is a man's preference, and everyone wants to emulate that. And so how can you be the individual, one, to say, I want to do something a little different, and two, again, if you look at most of these situations with women and the artists that are out, maybe not all of them, there seems to be a little separation, but generally it's something involving a man.
Well, you know who I like, and that's regardless of the man. You know who I like? I like Coi Leray.
I do like her too.
I like the confidence that she brings. I think she is a dope artist, and I swear, like, if she get the right push and the right, she is dope. I think she's dope with her little body. You know what I'm saying?
I do appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying. I appreciate the.
Although she did get implants, and I'm not mad at that. Because,
she got some little
bee stings. I guess.
Well, okay, that's the bee stings. That's okay. But she didn't go too far with it.
She didn't get her BBL.
Yeah, I mean, like, she's being her natural self. She's a dance. She can dance. She's an entertain. She entertains when she's on stage.
Because even Nikki said that she fell victim to that. She said part of the reason why she got her butt shots were because she would be in the studio with Wayne and the Young Money people, and the girls would come through to see them, and it made her feel a little insecure. And it's crazy that it all kind of,
comes
no matter
from what a man says.
Exactly. And I'm not blaming men or saying anything. I mean, it's just, you know, kind of the stage is just the observation.
So it goes back to someone saying, like they say, words don't hurt, but they really do. People carry stuff from that happened 20 years ago. Like, you said this to me. Like, it will stick to you for the rest of your life. Like, seriously. But yeah, guess what, y'all? Stop going out there. Just love yourself. Like I said earlier, love yourself.
Love yourself. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So speaking of women looking good and delectable and amazing, I shouted out Savannah James last night. She presented her husband with an award at the ESPYs, and then she had a look for the after party, Uninterrupted, LeBron's company that he, media company that he put together with his childhood friend Maverick.
Okay.
What is Maverick's last name? Maverick Carter. I don't know why I just blanked on that. They had a party for the post-ESPYs event. They had Quavo perform, Flage perform from LSU. You know, it was lit in there. And so it kind of got me to thinking about LeBron's speech last night when he accepted that award. We know at the end of the playoffs, Bron kind of hinted that he might be considering retirement. Most people knew that that was fugazi and it was just emotions and caught up in the moment. But last night he made the statement that as long as he can play at a high level, you're not getting rid of him yet. So he'll be back for year 21. So I want to ask you, right?
All right.
If your man was 21 years into the league, right? Kind of like, I mean, not the same amount of time, but Tom Brady and Giselle before they broke up. Would you tell him, hey, it's time to sit down. It's time to take a break? We're going to hear Liz's response when we come back. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
More when we come forward.
Hollywood Walk of Fame stars in 2024. Stay tuned to find out who's in next year's class. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News. A new group of 31 entertainment professionals across film, television, radio, recording, and sports entertainment will have their names etched into Hollywood's history in 2024. One of the most celebrated names on the list was the beloved Chadwick Boseman. Others for the class of 2024 in Hollywood Walk of Fame was this year's Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh in the motion picture category. Other notable names include Chris Pine, Gwen Stefani, Andre, Dr. Dre, Young, Otis Redding, Christina Ricci, Brandy Norwood, Harry Washington, and more. The dates for the star ceremonies have not yet been scheduled. To find out all 31 inductees, visit youtube.com/Walk of Fame.
Hey LA, are you feeling the heat? LA DWP has rebates up to $225 on new air conditioners to help you beat the heat and save money. Plus, you can sign up for Level Pay to get predictable monthly bills for easy budgeting. Stay cool. Visit ladwp.com/COOL-LA. That's ladwp.com/COOL-LA.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-381-8528 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-381-8528. That's 800-381-8528. What do you have to lose? Call 800-381-8528. Again, 800-381-8528.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
Hey, it's Jill Munroe, and you are checking out RSVP with me, Jill Munroe, on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm joined by Lize B, who is a commentator, host, also a hairstylist. She styles some of your favorite celebrities on set, and we've been taking a trip back because it's Throwback Thursday and it's just fun, why not, to the 90s, talking about some of the impact of the way that groups were structured then, females in hip-hop and all of those things. So we kind of were talking about LeBron James and the fact that he is heading into year 21. That's an awful long time to play a sport, to be in a league. He travels. There's 41 road games a year. That doesn't include the playoffs. Now you have this in-season tournament and all of these things. Would you say, hey, honey, maybe you need to think about shutting it down, or are you riding with your man to the wheels fall off if that makes him happy?
I think I want to ride to the wheels fall off. I want him to do what he wants to do as long as he can do it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't over until it's over. So unless you have an injury, and if you can still play and you're still getting paid, keep going.
So you wouldn't mind that most of the caregiving duties and that so forth are taken care of by you, like as far as raising the kids and dealing with all of that? He's going to be largely absent from that?
Well, the kids are in college. Well,
only one,
but the other one is coming up.
But that's my point. So for 18 years, right? I've been the primary, as far as the children. You wouldn't be like, hey, we need to share. Catch on while you can still drive your kids to school.
But how old is he again?
Who?
LeBron.
38. He'll be 39 December 30th.
Okay, so go on and give it to you both 41, 42, and then we can shut it down. Give it a couple of more years. Let him go on and ride it out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because then he'll probably be tired.
And then, but you think about this, right? His wife, they met in high school. So she went right from when she graduated to LeBron going to the league. She didn't attend college. That's not a knock. That's just an observation. And now she is starting to step out more on her own. She's doing more interviews. She has a business that will be launching soon. We saw her present to him last night at the ESPYs. I've seen her last summer and something else earlier this year. I've seen her out a few times, more so than so LeBron's been here 5 years. This is the most over the past sort of year and a half that I've seen Savannah out and about making moves without her husband being there. And so I just think that she's coming to a point, and she's a little younger than him. I guess she might be 37.
Okay.
Going to be 38 in September. And so I just think that it's interesting that at this point she's wanting to open up more. And I wonder how that dichotomy is going to work, because, you know, with most athletes, their divorce rate after retirement is even higher than the average. So
that's why keep on playing ball, sir. So I can develop into who I'm trying to become, because she is changing. You know what I'm saying? They have the young daughter now, and she's getting older. So now she's able, like before the kids were younger, so now they're getting out the way, and she can now get into herself and start doing the things that she really wants to do. You know what I'm saying? She laid down for a minute, so now she's coming out.
She's not ready to come out. Do you think that LeBron, who is used to being the forefront, the center, is going to be able to adjust to that sort of change in the dynamics of the relationship?
Of course he is. He better go on. She adjusted to that hairline, so he better adjust.
But but seriously, it is a problem. It is something that comes up when, you know, the man is used to being the center. In this case, I'm talking about professional athletes, not, you know, Joe that works at Sony or something like that.
But, you know, also she's probably been through a lot that we don't know about.
Correct.
And she has stood by her man. I'm going to stand by my man. So he's definitely always given her the praise. Anytime any scandal came out or anybody tried to pull a little scandal about his name or them messing with him or knowing him, he would clear that up and let it be known who his wife is. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, she gonna stick by her man.
She gonna stick by him. I'ma stay beside him.
I'ma stick by him. I'ma stay beside him. That's mine.
Jerry Anderson asked, why would a woman say that to their man? I just explained why. Because, you know, maybe it's time for a shift in the division. He's scored the most points ever. We know this in the NBA. He's won 4 titles with 3 different franchises. He's won MVP. He's achieved a great number of things. It's going to be almost impossible. It's probably going to take another 20, 30 years. Maybe not. Might be not as long because of the 3-point line. But for someone to catch the record that he's laid down. So not realistically, I know what more there is to do. But what more does he have to prove? I'm not saying Savannah feels this way. I was just a little curious.
But after he, like in a couple of years or so, maybe he can become a coach. You know,
there's lots of things that he could do. I'm just saying.
Because he loves the game.
Yeah, he does.
But, okay. I don't know, but would you take a break? Like,
I'm just asking. Because I just, part of me feels like
enough is enough.
Not enough is enough per se, but he's accomplished so much. And I know you think about Kobe. He gave the game everything that he had. So when he stepped away from the game, he said one of the things that he enjoyed most was just being able to spend those moments with his family, with his kids, take his kids to school, go pick them up after school. These are things that, you know, most people take for granted. And it's not necessarily something that...
But does she travel with him?
Savannah?
I know Jackie Christie did.
You know Jackie Christie did. Shout out to Jackie. I love Jackie. That's my girl. Shout out to her.
She was going with her man.
Jackie was going, but they got a different situation. No, occasionally she would, but no, I think Savannah mostly, like even when he played for Miami, Savannah didn't right away move to Miami. She stayed in Cleveland. I think now she's really enjoying LA. She's finding her footing, but she doesn't go on the road with him. Jerry Anderson said $47 million a year. There is no breaks. T. Sworn said he loves the game, but you got to know when to
let it go.
Let it go. I'm not saying he should. I'm not saying that they should or that they should have the conversation. I'm just kind of curious at this point with all the accolades that LeBron has received and everything that he's done.
How high can you go, right?
How high can and Savannah wants to step out sort of and take her turn at it. So,
Yeah, don't be selfish.
That's all.
So that's why I say a couple of more years. 2 more years. You say he's 39, about to be 40.
No, he's about to be 39.
Okay, so 39, 40, 41. Okay. You balled all these years, LeBron. It's time. Give somebody else a chance to ball.
Well, speaking of things taking place after a long, long time, Babyface, after 26 years, is back on top of the Billboard adult R&B charts. I didn't know there was an adult R&B section. That tells you when the last time I really looked at the Billboard charts. There's so many new distinctions and genres.
R&B.
And yeah, why not just R&B? Is there a distinction? Is there a point where an R&B song, are they labeled for age?
So I wonder if SZA and Summer young R&B, and he's old R&B. I'm confused.
I am too. I wonder if they chart on the SZA. I definitely would think, even though we think she's R&B and she's us, SZA's kind of a pop star at this point.
Is she?
I think in a way because of what her album did. She took the top spot from Taylor Swift, and she held on to that position for I think 3 weeks. Or no, Andy's giving me I think it was 12 weeks. I was like, Andy's coming in with this.
She held on.
No, but for a very long time. And so I think, and then her tour was sold out. She did 4 sold out dates at the Forum. It might even have been more than that. Different across the country. Her tour did really well. So I think for all intents and purposes, she is considered to be a pop artist. But what I was saying about Babyface is that after 26 years, he has a new single out. As a matter of fact, the last time he charted was in 1997 with the ballad "Every Time I Close My Eyes." So 26 years for Babyface. Do you think, we had that conversation a couple of months ago where Diddy was like, R&B is dead and I'm going to bring it back. But do you think that there is a changing of the tide as far as R&B going right now? And R&B notoriously has been something where people would age out. There would be I think we called it adult contemporary maybe back in the day. Mm-hmm. But do you think that era of R&B is making its way back, and where our legacy artists can chart again and, have fruitful careers even though they're older, not just for the, for the auntie and granny set per se?
Well, it's gradually making its way back. So we have a lot of little young artists that's R&B. That's what I'm saying. They're not promoting or pushing the R&B music. That's what we really need to make a balance. Because even me, I'm listening to some of this stuff on the radio. I'm speeding through traffic. You know what I'm saying? So we need to have a balance out here. So I want some of the R&B because, Babyface, Whip Appeal, The Deal. He
all
was
the
out
classics,
here.
2 Occasions,
Yeah,
what? Everything you wrote from.
Bring it back.
Shout out to Toni Braxton. Her first album was released, in 1993 on this date. She posted some little clips from that album. And, if we're talking about Babyface, we've got to talk about Toni. So let me add this. Babyface making it to the top of the charts. Along with Usher, Tank, and Kenny Lattimore are some of the few male artists to make it to the top of the charts in 2023. We've talked about how hip hop has gone through the same thing. What is happening that what was once dominant music that involved our R&B and hip hop is now seemingly taking a back seat? Are the tides changing again? We're going to talk about all that and more when we come forward. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports are up next.
Come on. I be like, ooh, he love me, good form. Come on. I slick, drop the top like nip slips. So he tryna smash like...
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Black Los Angeles City Councilman Curran Price made his first court appearance in his criminal case. Curran is accused of theft by embezzlement, perjury, and conflict of interest for allegedly voting on projects